If you're making your own music, chances are you want to make it available on Spotify, Apple Music, and every other streaming service available so that your audience can find it and listen to it easily. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that and how to distribute your music on popular streaming platforms. You ready? Let's go. Are you an artist, producer, engineer, or music professional that's looking for funding for your music career? Could you benefit from having funding for studio time, mixing and mastering, or even marketing costs? I think I have something for you. I've written a free ebook. It's 9 pages, super short and digestible, where I break down the 6 main places that artists and professionals like yourself can find funding for their musical projects. If this sounds like it's of value to you, please click the link below and you can download this for free today and benefit from this knowledge. I hope this helps. I'll see you guys soon. Peace. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy 5-Piece producer and engineer extraordinaire. Thank you for checking out this channel. I'm super excited to show you how to get your music onto streaming platforms today. But before we get into that, if you can, please hit the bell and the subscribe button below to stay tuned for more helpful videos. I got a lot of helpful videos for you, ranging from engineering and production to talking about business-related things like what we're talking about today. But what you're probably curious about is, how do I get my music onto streaming platforms? Imagine for a second that you could reach the 271 million Spotify users that are listening to music on Spotify today, or maybe the 60 million users that are using Apple Music today. Wouldn't you like to tap into that audience? Of course you would. The only way to do that is to have your music available on these platforms. Now make sure you pay special attention to this video, because I'm going to walk you through how to get your music onto these platforms, and I'm going to offer you a special discount and even show you how to do this specifically by the end of this video. Now what you need to do in order to get your music onto these platforms is work with a music distributor. Music distributors have a direct relationship with stores, so with Spotify, with Apple Music, with Tidal, with iTunes, with every possible place you can listen to music. They have the relationship and they're able to get your music onto these platforms so your audience can listen to it. Now, they all work in slightly different ways. Some of them you pay up front, you pay a flat fee. Others, they work on a percentage basis, and some of them work on a combination of the two. Now, the music distributor that I like to use and that I find is very flexible and easy to work with is DistrictKid. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump onto my computer here and I'm going to show you how DistrictKid works, and I'm going to help prove to you why you should use them to distribute your own music. Let's jump in. So let's check out DistrictKid's website, and I'm going to show you what the back end looks like and how I like to use it to release my music. But before we do that, check this out. If you haven't already logged on to DistroKid before, you can go to distrokid.com/VIP/5piece, and you'll basically be a VIP, and you're going to essentially get 7% off your first year's membership if you decide to sign up today. Just a special thank you for watching my videos, and shout out to DistroKid for making this happen. But if we look at their website, they do a really good job of showing us why they're really a good distributor to use to release our music. Now, if we go down here, we can see just some of their benefits. We'll get your music onto Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, which is a cool new feature, Pandora, Amazon, Instagram, YouTube, Tidal, iHeartRadio, Deezer, plus a ton of other stores and streaming services. So they get your music into pretty much every store possible, and there's a way to actually be added to more stores as they pop up in the future. But what's really cool is they've recently rolled out this TikTok feature. Instagram in Canada finally started showing Instagram music stories, which is a great thing. We didn't have that feature for a while, but if you're in other countries, you've probably had access to that feature. But nonetheless, this will get your song onto that platform and pretty much anywhere else you'd want to listen to it. Now, you keep 100% of your royalties and you get paid monthly. So you can literally just make a lot of money from this, depending on your music and how it does, and you get to keep 100%.
100% of it, which is great because some distributors, they take a percentage of your royalties as well, which really sucks. So you're keeping 100% of your money through DistroKid, and you're only paying a one-time flat rate every year. Now, it says here in stores 10 to 20 times faster than any other distributor at a fraction of the price, and this is true. You can literally upload your song sometimes days away from the release, and it'll go live. Whenever I've put a song up myself, it's been up within 48 hours, ready for a pre-save and ready to go. And I've always been impressed with how fast songs are available on a platform through DistroKid. Now here you can see it says pay only $19.99 to upload unlimited albums and songs for a year. And it's true, their competitors do charge, way more than that. And some of these competitors also lack some of the features and flexibility that DistroKid offers. Now, we're going to talk about this, but there is a few different plans. The $19.99 one is just one of the plans available, but they each are really good. This will be good enough to release your music to everybody if you want to just start there. We'll talk about this momentarily. Now, you can keep all of your earnings, and what I like about this is you can set up splits. So you can basically pay out any collaborators that you have on your song as well. So for example, there's songs where I've produced the song, I made the beat, and the artist did the lyrics, and we split that song 50-50, and we're able to just automatically route it. So that way the artist doesn't need to pay me. I don't need to hound them or anything like that. DistroKid just automatically routes the money 50-50 to me and him as it comes. It's just really intuitive and great to be able to set that up. Now, a cool bonus feature, I haven't taken advantage of this, but if you do cover songs, and I know some people do like doing cover songs, you can actually use them and distribute them legally. You can get paid when other people use your music in their YouTube videos, so you can monetize other people's YouTube videos based on them using your music. You get verified on Spotify with a check mark. You can manage your Apple Music page. You can get credits and lyrics into stores, which is a great feature as well. You can even get a YouTube official artist channel, Spotify pre-saves. There's so many features that are probably going to get looked over here, but honestly, DistroKid has been arguably the best distributor I've worked with on my music so far. And just to point out something that I really like here, if you look at their testimonials and press section, their quotes are from their competitors, really, when you think about it. A lot of people like to use TuneCore and CD Baby to also distribute their music, and they're obviously great companies as well. You could choose whichever one is best for you, but I just love how DistroKid used their quotes to promote their own services. DistroKid is simply the best distributor in the market, founder of TuneCore, and they give us a source. You can actually check it out. This is amazing. I'll be sending everyone I know to DistroKid now, Derek Sivers. I just think this is super funny the way that they did this. Really smart, And if you're not sold, you can scroll down and you can actually check out reviews from some more established artists. Like you see here, you got Ludacris giving a review saying DistroKid is the future. Just different individuals who are successful in the music business and their take on using it. 21 Savage's people, stuff like that. Ari Herstand, some of these people you might know and recognize, and they're obviously all praising DistroKid for their amazing service. Now, I really want to show you what goes on behind the scenes in DistroKid as well, what goes on in the dashboard when we want to upload our own song, as well as just show you some of these other features that I mentioned. So if you want, you can take advantage of the 7% discount now by typing in your information and signing up for DistroKid. Whether you choose the $19.99 package or one of the other ones, which I'm also going to discuss, you can sign up and you can always upgrade later if you need to as well. So do that first. I'm going to sign in and I'll see you on the inside. So once you've signed into your DistroKid profile, you're going to come to your dashboard, which is what I'm looking at here, and it's going to show you all the things you've released so far. These are the 2 songs that I have distributed through DistroKid. And down here on the first page, you're going to have your teams. Now, this ties into that song split stuff I was talking about from the homepage, where you can automatically split payments for your songs to yourself and to other artists that are featured on the songs, depending on how you decide to split the song revenue up. Now, this is taking care of one form of royalties that an artist should get, being mechanical royalties. Really, it's just a way of directly getting paid through people streaming and purchasing your music or music that you're featured on Spotify, on Apple Music, and all that. So this is separate though, however, from performance royalties, and a lot of people get that twisted. I'm going to leave a link in the description below to help clarify that a little bit and talk about the other royalties that creators like yourself can earn from their music. Now, Now, as an example, you can see here, these are all the songs that I've contributed to as a producer, and some of these songs I've co-produced or whatnot, and I've been given a certain percentage of that song and its revenue through DistroKid because myself and the artist are both a part of DistroKid as well. So for example, with my artist Left Field Keel, we have a song called Tunnel Vision out, and I'm getting 50% of that song's split. So I'm getting 50% of the revenue generated on that song from Spotify streams, iTunes sales, etc., right? And this automatically happens. It's automatically routed to myself, as you can see, through the information that I've given DistroKid. So this is just a really good feature and a much better way to collect mechanical royalties in a sense, because it's challenging for us independent musicians to do that on our own. We need some help. And just by being on DistroKid and working with other artists who are on DistroKid, it really just makes it easier for you to get paid, right? Now, before I go any further here, I do want to mention that I'm on a different type of account here. If we go to distrokid.com/plan, we're going to be able to see the 3 different types of accounts you can have on DistroKid. Now, that $19.99 one that I talked about, it's a bit more limited, but it's a great account to start with if you just want to get your music out there to the public, let them listen to it on Spotify and all that. It gives you all the features that you're going to need to put your music out. However, I personally am using the Musician Plus account, which is a bit more expensive, but it gives you a lot more flexibility. And the reason why I like it is you can upload unlimited amounts of things, like unlimited lyrics. I can customize my label name. I can actually choose and customize my release date, whereas this one just tries to put it up as fast as it can, if I'm not mistaken. You got customizable iTunes pricing. You could do the team earning stuff that I just talked about. So there's just all these features that are way more beneficial to you as an artist. So I definitely recommend, if you can, you just pay the extra money and do the Musician Plus. This is just a one-time payment for the year. And honestly, when most other distributors are charging you per release, just releasing 3 to 4 songs in a year will make this worth it. So if you're an artist that's going to be consistently releasing music, whether it's songs or albums, this account is way better. And of course, if you are a label, if you want to have more artist names that you can add on and whatnot, you may want to go for this option. Now, again, I'm on Musician Plus, so some of the features I'm about to show you may only apply to it. I highly recommend you check out this page and learn more. But if I'm not mistaken, you can always sign up for the basic package and upgrade it whenever and just pay the difference. That's what I did, and it was just way better for that reason, but I'll let you decide. So I think you get the idea here. If we go back to our main dashboard page, I want to show you one other thing. If we go to stats, it'll actually display your statistics and give you some data on your profile from your Spotify for Artists page. So you can connect your Spotify for Artists and just learn more about your audience, your data points, anything that's really important. Maybe you'll figure out which locations are doing well for you musically. Maybe Los Angeles is doing well and you're based somewhere else. It'll give you an idea of where you should maybe target more or put more emphasis on, because you have a natural fan base developing. This data is just really, really crucial for expanding your business as a musician. But you can look into that. You're going to have to connect your Spotify and whatnot, and they'll give you tons of instructions on how to do that. But if you're going to actually upload a song, what you're going to want to do is go to upload. Now, whether you're doing a song or an album, you're still going to go to the same exact area. And what you're going to do is you're going to choose the stores that you want. These are automatically pre-selected, but there may be more by the time you do this yourself, depending on the time. Now, you're going to choose the amount of songs that you're going to want to upload. If you're doing an album, you're going to choose multiple. If you're doing just a single, you're going to choose one song. Let's say I'm going to do a single for now. Now, it's going to ask you, has this single been previously released? Have you put it out before? If yes, you choose yes and you select the date that it was previously released. But if it's a new song, you just leave it on no. Next thing you're going to want to do is add your name as an artist. Now, this is strictly your artist name, right? So it's not going to be your legal name or anything like that. It says only list your name, stage name, or band name. Do not include anyone else. So don't include your featured artist here, for example. The instructions are very, very specific, and you have to be mindful of how you title your name and your song title. There's some capitalization stuff here that it says, so just be mindful of these things. Now, it should pull you up if you're already on Apple Music or not. It'll let you create a profile, right? So, I'm already set. My release is going to appear in Apple Music as 5-piece, and same with Spotify. So the next thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to set up a date. Okay, now you can choose whenever you want. You can make it really soon. You can make it within 24 to 48 hours and see how fast it goes up. I like to give my releases a bit of time, a couple of weeks, 2 to 4 weeks, just to be safe. And I usually like to have a little bit of an anticipation build before a release anyways. So let's say that I wanted to drop a song at the end of May here. So it's about a month away from where we are right now. It'll ask me what release time. I'm going to make it midnight. And then it's going to ask me my time synchronization. So do I want this to come out at midnight in that listener's time zone? So whether they're in New York, Toronto, Los Angeles, Dubai, anywhere they are, is it going to just be that 12 a.m. in their time zone? Or do I select 12 a.m. in New York? Meaning once it's 12 in New York, whatever time it is, anywhere else, it's going to be out there at that time. I'm probably just going to say 12 a.m. in the listener's time zone just to make it easy. And it's going to ask, do you want to do a pre-order for iTunes, for Google Play, etc.? And I'll say yes. Why not? Let's do it. Let's build some anticipation. And I usually make my pre-order start date as soon as humanly possible. So that way, once DistroKid sends me my link saying, hey, your pre-order's gone live, I could start plugging away. I could start sharing it with people, posting it on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, anything that I need to in order to start building some traction around the release. Now it's going to ask you your record label name. Don't worry, if you're not a signed artist, it's okay. You're allowed to put whatever label you want. So for example, I'm independent and I put it out under my music company name, which is 5 Piece Music. If you always wanted to have your own label, Kiss My Lemons Productions or whatever, you put that here. Next, you're going to upload your album cover. This could also be your single cover, but you want to make sure you follow their optimal size dimensions, which is 3000 by 3000, and just pay attention to the suggestions they give you. You want this to be a high quality file. Otherwise, stores may reject it. It even says that here. Stores will reject artwork that contains certain things like a URL, Twitter name, text, pixelation, poor quality, anything like that. So just make sure it's a high quality image. So if I were to do it here myself, this is my artwork for Something Out of Nothing. It's going to show it. Cool. Looks good, right? It's going to ask you what language. In my case, we're doing English, but you could choose whatever language your song is in. My primary genre is going to be hip hop on this one. And we could maybe say R&B soul, but not really for this. But you could always say a secondary genre. It is optional. I'm actually not going to say any genre here. It's not really needed. And then, of course, you're going to add your title information. So, you know, this is Something Out of Nothing, the song I would upload here in this example. And if you do have featured artists, this is where you're going to list them. You know, in my case, I have EverythingOShauN and Gudini. So it's asking, you know, did you format it correctly? Because what it's going to do is it's going to allow these artists to get linked to this song as well. So somebody could click on EverythingOShauN or Gudini's name once this is uploaded, right? So you can see here, example with 2 featured artists. It's in brackets featuring Chris Brown and Jonta Austin, right? So it's very much the same. Just to be safe, I'll put the lowercase f, always lowercase, right? Always in parentheses, right? And it tells you stores will reject titles that are basically not done properly. So this is all good. It's just reminding you just to prevent any additional problems. You're going to upload your file here. So I can go find the song, put the audio in. Then as a songwriter, it's going to ask, is this a cover basically? So did another artist write this song? It's a cover. Or is this an original song that I wrote, or do I manage the people that wrote it? And in this case, I did write it, and the people I work with, you know, this is all cool, it's all good. So it's an original song. I'm choosing this first option. If you wrote your own song, that's the option you're going to choose. It's more about if you are covering somebody else's song where you would select the other option. So now here you could put your songwriter name. So for example, I could put my own name here, music, right? I can add another name and I could choose somebody else that has written this song. I would put their real name and I could choose whether they did lyrics or music. And there's actually a deeper component to the crediting. You can actually do way more credits than what you're seeing here. You just got to do it afterwards in the back end. You can go in and choose mixing engineer, mastering engineer, producer, all these different titles. And I go in there all the time to add myself to different credits if I need to, or I work with the artist I'm working with to make sure that I get credited properly. And DistroKid does a good job of allowing you to do that and allowing you to credit different people. Not every distributor will do that. Now it asks, is there explicit lyrics? Yes. It asks if this is a radio edit, yes or no. Is this an instrumental or does it contain lyrics? In this case, it contains lyrics. The preview clip start time, it's choosing the portion of the audio that it's going to preview to listeners if they want to just audition it. So you can actually specify, you know, where you want that to be, or you can just let them decide. I usually just let them decide. And then you can, of course, choose your track price. This is more important for places where people are actually purchasing the music versus streaming it on a service like Spotify. But you can go as much as $1.29 in this particular situation, and whatever price you choose is what it will be sold at in these stores. Now down here you have an extras section, and this stuff is really important. Now, of course, they do usually cost a little bit more money in addition to what you've already paid, but I pay the price pretty much every single time because it's worth it. It just depends. So for example, this one is free, but you can add your single to Instagram's music and stories and stuff. This is actually a newer feature for the Canadians, but it's been rolled out in the States and in a couple of different countries. So they're already used to it, but us Canadians were a bit new to it. But it's a really cool feature. You can add lyrics and stuff, and that makes it even more important to submit your lyrics through DistroKid. But I always select this one for sure. You can do a store maximizer. This is actually important. I didn't do this in the past, but it's something I will be doing now. Just to give you an idea, when I uploaded this song before, I didn't choose this option, and I actually had to manually push my song to new stores. So for example, I had to manually push it to Instagram and Facebook and TikTok afterwards because those two things didn't exist when I originally uploaded the song. But had I had chosen this feature, this setting, it would automatically be adding this song to those services as these services became available, because things are always updating and new services are coming out. So it might be worth that money to pay to just have it automatically pushed to these services without even thinking about it. Otherwise, you're going to have to be like me earlier and be manually selecting your song and re-pushing it to those providers. It's not the biggest deal. It's just a little bit of an inconvenience if you decide to not choose this feature. So I definitely recommend it. Now, Shazam and iPhone Siri, this is super important. I personally discover a lot of music by, busting my phone out and saying, "Hey Siri, what song is this?" And then basically using Shazam and whatnot to figure out what it is. So by not having this option, by not choosing this option, you're potentially going to miss out on some of your audience because a lot of people discover music this way. So I definitely recommend you pay the 99 cents for the year and make your song Shazamable. Now, if you want, you can actually choose this leave a legacy option, okay? You pay 29 bucks one time, non-reoccurring, and basically DistroKid won't delete this single from stores due to your membership expiring, because remember, your DistroKid account is a membership that you pay every year. So you can actually choose this and have your song up forever. You can always choose to delete it anytime you like, but you will continue to have that song on platforms. You continue to make 100% of the money. And as it says here, leave your legacy for future generations. So should anything happen to you, God forbid, you can always pass that account down, pass the money down, and your kin can always continue to make money from your music. So it's another really interesting option to potentially select. So the next thing you're going to do is you're just going to confirm all your details. You're going to acknowledge that you've recorded the music and you're authorized to sell it. You're going to acknowledge that you're not using anybody else's name or intellectual property without their approval. And of course, you're going to agree to DistroKid's agreement. And you're going to press done. And once you've selected everything, DistroKid's going to send you an email. It's going to do what it does. It's going to push your song to stores. And it should be available on the day that you chose, assuming that it's, within a reasonable time frame.
And there you have it. Really easy to get your music onto Spotify and Apple Music by using DistroKid's platforms. Just a simple form you got to fill out, and as long as you're organized, you can get your music out there ASAP. If you want, you can sign up for DistroKid today. Once again, remember, you can hit my link, www.distrokid.com/VIP/5piece, and you'll save 7% on your registration, and you'll be able to get your music out as soon as you like. Hope you got value out of this video. If you did, feel free to like, subscribe, and definitely share it with somebody that you know it's going to help. And I'm looking forward to helping you again soon. Peace out.
5.